Hey, 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 we are live. That's it. What's up, Kenya Sloan, my co-host?
Up, my catcher. Where's our official intro?
I'm gonna get it right now. I just change it up a little bit here and there.
There you go.
Welcome everyone to tonight's airing of the Tennessee USA Wrestling Power Hour podcast. I am your coach, or not your coach. I just got done coaching at practice, but I'm your host, Mike Hatcher. That's right, state chairman, Tennessee USA Wrestling. My co-host, Kenya Sloan, world-renowned rock star.
So maybe Tennessee renowned rock star.
All right. Well, working on the world renowned. We're Tennessee renowned rock star. There we go. And working on, we just keep stepping it up, regional, national, and then pretty much world. We're taking it on, taking everything on. Right, Kenya?
There you go. Might as well.
There we go. Go we go. Okay. We're here giving you the latest and greatest wrestling news, wrestling coverage, wrestling interviews, interesting people throughout the state. And we're in for another outstanding podcast. Some more guests. Pretty pumped. How about you, Kenya? You pumped up? You ready to roll?
I'm pumped. I'm ready. I think the 3 guests that we have lined up today are going to be super, super fun. And so we've got some cool results to get into too.
Well, I think it's also the postseason. You know, it's officially underway.
Yeah.
It's here. It's here.
It's among us.
I know.
It's finally come.
It's crazy, like how fast
it came
every year.
Yeah, I feel like we just started.
Oh yeah. It's weird because like I remember, well, I don't really remember being in high school. That's a while ago, but kind of, I mean, you know, it would just like season would just boom, fly there. And then college, it gets faster.
Mm-hmm.
Now all of a sudden you start coaching and you talk about getting fat. I mean, it just, you're going through it right now, first year coaching. I mean, it literally just jumps at you. There's a sneak.
I agree.
Like, bam.
Yeah. It's crazy because when I was in it, it felt like our seasons were so long, long. But now from a coaching perspective, I feel like we barely even had practice yet. And we're already
so. These kids even know how to stand up.
Literally, that's what I was going to say. I didn't know if that was bad. I'm like, geez, half of my team doesn't know how to get in referee's position. How are we supposed to win this duel?
I know. Even from a club perspective, it's like, man, you know, and we started to get, we're getting busier just normally year round here at Young Guns Nashville. So, but like this time of the year, I mean, it's like, you know, it's just like anything else. Kids start cramming for a test. So like, oh, okay, wait a second. It's February. Or it's January. State tournament's in February. I might want to start going to like a little bit more practice. Yeah. So it kind of works.
Yeah. This is actually just this past week. So I was coaching my girls at the regional tournament. And for some of them, it was like their first time like wrestling in a duel against like other pretty full teams, right? So we're trying to run them down like, hey, even if you can't win, like, let's not get pinned. Here's why, yada, yada, yada. Like as a team, breaking it down after the warm-up, having this talk. And then one of my girls, I won't say her name, but if she ever watches, one of my girls, after we break it down, I'm like, go get some water, like hydrate and rest. She comes up to me and she's like, Coach Kenya, so if I do get on my back, what am I supposed to do? Like, why is this the first time you asked me? I was like, well, you can start by bridging. And she's like, okay, what is that? And I was like, geez, like getting on the mat at the regional tournament to show her how to bridge. But hey, you have to roll with the punches. That's kind of
well, see, when you start like getting some years of coaching on it, you start like getting ahead of those type of things. You're like, you can see the question kind of unfolding. How do I no remember in practice, like we remember that week, like 3 weeks back, we worked on, oh yeah. He stepped in front of it, even if he worked on it or not, because obviously they forgot. So
the planning has to come in. Next practice, we worked on fighting off our back, believe me.
Yeah. It's crazy. You know, I'll be honest, it's crazy that more coaches and more teams don't work on that. It's weird. Like it's weird because you would think that would be a very, very, very valuable skill. Let's just say, for example, even if like you're like, let's say you're the number one kid in the state, and you don't get put on your back all year, never been put on your back, and then all of a sudden the state semifinals, somebody puts you on your back. I don't know. To me, I don't know. I would think that would come in handy throughout that time of the year.
Yeah. From a coaching perspective, I guess it's our job to think of those things before they actually happen. So
yeah.
Figuring it.
Yeah. Well, there we go. That's the coaching tip of the day. Tip of the night. Coaches, put your kids in their back consistently right now this time of the year and make them, practice there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. So, but this week Last week actually it was busy because these kids. I can't speak for the teams all around the state, but I know here in Middle Tennessee, the teams have really been scrambling to get all these postseason things in because because we had that snow week before, so they a bunch of stuff got canceled that week. So they're cramming all these different competitions in. Then all of a sudden, bam! Last week it was. I went and down and watched the regionals with. Was it regional? Yeah, regionals. Nolensville, Ravenwood, Brentwood, Summit, and then literally the next day. Next day they were wrestling in the sectional tournament against teams of the West. Yeah, that's like boom, quick turnaround. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's how most of our girls teams were like in our side of the state too, or at least I think they had a day in between our regional tournament and the sectional tournament. But still, it was a really quick turnaround.
Wow. Well, cool. All right. So speaking of the girls, what's going on? What happened on the girls' side?
Well, good transition.
I know. Look at that. Tell you what, episode 17. Come on. I think we're doing 71. I think this is episode 71. See that transition we did right there. See, there we go.
We know what we're doing.
Yep.
Okay. So we're gonna go over the results from our girls sectional tournament, dual tournament matchups, and just go over a few of the results that happened. First of all, from each region, the two teams that made it out. So out of region 1, they had, section 1, we had Gibbs and Science Hill. And then from section 2, we had Cleveland and Bradley. Section 3, we had Blackman and Riverdale. And then from section 4, we had Clarksville and Northwest. And in that order, first and second place. Like Gibbs took first, Science Hill took second, Cleveland first, Bradley second, Blackman first, Riverdale second, Clarksville first, Northwest second. Out of big pools. I guess this is my first time ever. I never wrestled in a dual tournament in high school. I never wrestled in a duel in high school, actually.
Really?
Yeah, because I was a girl on my team, so it would have been a pretty boring duel.
You got a lot of matches.
Yeah, that would have been funny. Yeah, right. So I was really surprised looking at some of these results, how many teams were in each region to try and make it to the sectional tournament. And then the reality is, on the girls' side, a lot of it has to do, regardless of how many teams are in each region, there's only a handful of those teams that have a pretty competitive lineup, not skill-wise, just numbers-wise. But either way, it's still a big accomplishment, I think, for these teams to have made it out of their region. And so at the sectional tournament, we had Clarksville and Blackman competed against each other. Clarksville won a whopping 52-12. Most of these ended in fall either way, but there are a few matches that were that went the entire all 3 periods that looked pretty competitive. I think some of the ones to highlight were Brooklyn Whiteside from Clarksville, and then Allie Bryant at 138. And then at 120, Tatiana Corona from Clarksville and Payne Holsey, I think, from Blackman. Those were 2 of the really good matches from that duel.
Cool.
And then we had Riverdale and Northwest, which was a much closer matchup. So it was 30 Northwest, 30 Riverdale, and then 40 Northwest. So they won by a 10-point lead. I think the best and most intense match from that duel was at the 100-pound weight class. Haley Smart from Northwest and then Natalie Rizzo from Riverdale. It was a very, very high-scoring match. I didn't get to see it. I wish I could have seen it, but the score ended up being 20-12, so it was still a major decision. Right. But I'm sure it was a really fun one to watch. And then the next matchup, we had Cleveland and Science Hill, which Cleveland won 48 to Science Hill's 21. So that was a pretty dominant performance on their end.
Defending state champs there.
Yeah. I was going to say, as to be expected. Again, there was a lot of matches that ended in falls. A lot of them were quick, but hats off to the 100-pound match. Kaylee Cross from Science Hill did really, really well against Anna Melton from Cleveland. And then the last duel was Bradley and Gibbs, which was not necessarily the last in chronological order, but just the last one we're going to review. And I think must have been the most exciting duel to be a part of and to watch from an audience standpoint altogether. They were neck and neck the entire duel. They ended up being decided 36-36 by decision. Bradley won that duel. And we have today on our girl side, we've got an amazing guest who's going to help us dive a little bit deeper into what that duel looked like. So if you want to go ahead and bring Austin on.
There he is.
There he is.
Hey,
Hi,
how's
Austin.
it going, everybody?
What's up, Austin?
Doing good. What's going on, Coach? How are you, sir?
I'm good, buddy. Good seeing you.
Good to see you again.
That's it.
How's everybody doing?
We're good. Per usual, of course, Mike knows Austin, our guest on the podcast, and this is our first time meeting virtually. This happens, Austin, this happens.
I don't know. You guys kind of know each other a little bit, though, right?
80%. We still haven't figured it out. Those of you guys are watching, Austin and I know each other some way, somehow, but haven't quite figured. What year did you graduate high school?
I graduated from Bradley Central in 2017.
Okay, I'm pretty sure you beat me up in middle school. I'm pretty sure that's how I know you're. I don't forget.
I don't know about that. I don't know about
Austin's like, that's not exactly how Austin's remembering it. Can you? He's like, I don't know. I think
that's
me.
Listen, I don't forget a face that I've lost to, and I know that you beat me at some point. It had to have been middle school. But anyways, we're not talking about this.
Okay, yeah, let's move on.
So, Austin, you just freshly took over this Bradley girls team. Did you start the team, or did you take it over just recently?
No, so we've only been a team for about 2.5 years. Coach Ben Smith had a huge part in starting the program. He's the one that went to Bradley County School Board and got all the stipends and everything, and the warm-ups and everything like that started for us. And then last season, Mackenzie Byer, she recently got married, but Mackenzie Byer took over for a season and then stepped down. And then I've been awarded the opportunity, or earned the opportunity, or whatever you want to call it, to coach these wonderful ladies. So this is my first season as a head coach.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations. It looks like you're doing pretty good. You figured it out pretty quick, huh?
Well, I've been an assistant for the past 4 or 5 years under Coach Ben Smith. So I've learned from one of the best.
That's awesome.
Totally.
That's awesome. Yeah. Walk us through this duel a little bit. If you want to, you could even take it match by match, or just give us maybe some of the really big things that you think we should know from the duel. Obviously, we know that it was pretty intense just by looking at the results. Yeah.
So like you said earlier in the podcast, girls wrestling, like you said, you only had 4 or 5 girls on your team, or you couldn't fill the full lineup when you were in high school. And a lot of teams across the state and across the country are dealing with that now. So I only have 9 weight classes that I can fill at this point in the season. We're working on getting some other girls that have been weight certified and see if we can plug a few holes and things like that, of course, for this upcoming weekend. But out of the 12 weight classes, Gibbs forfeited 4, we forfeited 4, and there were only 4 matches wrestled.
Wow.
Which is a lot of it was strategic. We can't fill or we haven't been able to fill. I'll be careful there, but we haven't been able to fill 165, 185 in heavyweight, which is no secret across the state. So, so we bumped our 152 pounder up, and Kalia Hardy started the dual meet off at 165 with a fall for us. Huge kick starter for us. And then we circled back around and we forfeited 85 heavyweight. And then Gibbs has a really tough 100-pounder in Cora. And we knew with some strategic moves here that if we could dodge her and roll our lineup up, those would be some more beneficial matches for us. And some more matches that could swing our way. So we rolled our 100-pounder up to 7 and forfeited that 100-pound match as well. So we were already down 18-6, before we even really got started wrestling.
Yeah.
Which I told my girls, I said, listen, like, attitude and effort are the only things that we can control. Like, go control, handle your match. I said, we're going to be down early. It's going to look bad on the scoreboard. Handle your match and do your job, and everything's going to work out. And so we rolled into the 107 match, and key detail here, my 107-pounder was moving forward, controlling Matt, and she forced a stall call. That's big later on in this explanation. So she forced a saw call. She ended up getting taken down, going to her back, getting pinned. The girl was really good. 114, we rolled our 107 up to 14. She ended up getting pinned too. So now we're down 6 to 24, 30 points. And so we're like, okay, hey, it's all good. Now we roll. And that's what I told my girls. I turned around and looked at them on the bench. I said, it's all right. Now we roll. Mm-hmm. So after that match, we wrestled the 100, the 107 match, 107 and 14. Then we wrestled the 120 match with Katie McIlvain, and she went out and got a huge pin for us. So now we're back up to 30 to 12. And so I knew that they would do something kind of funky here, and going into the match that they would either forfeit to our 126-pounder or our 132-pounder, Gabby Bennett and Natalie Shane, which are normally my 120 and 126, but we rolled our lineup up.
Sure.
And so, we had to do some crazy strategic stuff, man. I'm telling you, me and my coaching staff, Craig Bennett and Hannah Moore, outstanding assistant coaches. They're fantastic. We sat down, put our heads together, and we made it happen. But they ended up forfeiting to both of them. And we were like, wait a second. That was unexpected. So what do they have in the chamber? What are they coming with us, at my 38 and 45 pounder? So we're sitting there. They just forfeited the 132 match to Gabby Bennett, who was normally my 26 pounder. And so now we're rolling into the 138 match. Well, Gibbs, I don't know if it was luck or what, but Gibbs sent out their 126 pounder at the 138 match. Yeah. And so once you report, your wrestler's locked in. And so we look at the weigh-in sheet and we're like, hey, you can only bump up one weight class. That's an ineligible wrestler. Okay. So they ended up having to forfeit the 138 match because they sent out the wrong wrestler. Wow. And so, like I said, eight forfeits out of – it was what? One more time. I'm sorry. He cut out on me.
I said, I know Pittman's got to be kicking himself, especially if he's watching this now, talking about that mistake.
I know. But – and hey, he's a great coach, and they've got a wonderful program and things like that. But we just had to bump and run and make the shifts that we had to do. And so they had to forfeit at 138. They had a girl weigh in at 145, and we did not. So they had to receive the forfeit. And then we closed the match on my girl going out at 152, receiving the forfeit, and ended up being 36 to 36. Oh my God. And the criteria. Wow.
You can't make this up.
And no, you can't make this up at all. Like it was 100%. I got to talking to my mom, and she was like, that's just a God thing. And I was like, you're exactly right. Like everybody was in place in the right time at the right place to make it happen. And I'll explain the criteria if for those that don't know that may be listening. But once the dual meet is result or like done wrestling, if there's a tie, there has to be a tiebreaker, right? And so criteria is the tiebreaker. So we started criteria A, unsportsmanlike, misconducts, things like that. No, neither team had any of that. And then it goes to misconducts on coaches, where any coaches hit for team points. None of that was going on during the duel. Then it goes down all the way, A, B, C, D, E. I mean, it goes all the way down through how many first points were scored. It goes through how much near fall was awarded, everything like that. But because you said earlier in the podcast, and you were right, that most girl matches are pin or be pinned, especially at this level, that there was no back points awarded in any matches. If we went to our back, we got pinned. And in this case, it turned out to be a good thing, because had we went to our backs, fought off our backs, and got pinned later, the score would have been the same, but we would have lost on near fall criteria. Crazy. But we get all the way down to criteria O. And it was one more criteria or two more criteria, and it was a coin flip. It was wild. And that one stall call that came from the 107 match, where Callie Ellis is her name, she was pushing forward, moving, being offensive, trying to force offense. She pulled the stall call all the way at the 107 match. That was the criteria that we ended up winning on.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. I'm so happy we brought you on to tell this story.
And truly, like, unless you were there, like, You wouldn't believe it. Like it's wild. But something that I will say this, something that we told our girls all week leading up to it with the snow that happened, and practice looks funny, and we were supposed to wrestle Saturday, but now we're wrestling this day, and we wrestled Wednesday. Now we're quick turnaround on Saturday. I was like, listen, all you can control is your attitude and your effort. If you take care of your match and do what we ask you to do, your big things are going to happen. And not a lot of people realize this, but this is the first time in Bradley girls wrestling history that we've ever qualified for the state tournament as a team. So it's super exciting, super proud of my girls. I had one of my girls, hey, you come in weighing 135. Okay, listen, if you can, we're rolling our lineup up. If you can weigh 140.1 by weigh-ins, then you can cover 45 and 52 for us and accept the forfeit. So she's chugging water, eating big breakfast. She comes and she's got this little belly. She's like, Coach, look at my belly. And I was like, because you did what we asked you to do and you made the weight, you were one of the main reasons that we won that duel. You know, it like, I may be a young coach, but if like with the staff and the team that we have, like we can make waves and like we can make big things happen. And as long as you buy into the process, and this is any program and any good coaching staff, but as long as you buy into the process, good things are going to happen to you. Good things are going to happen for you. And I could not be more proud of my girls for the effort and the attitude and just the way that they've bought in this season, from 7 a.m. lifts to after school practices in the dead of winter when it's dark outside. You're getting home at 7 o'clock and just buying in, and they've done a fantastic job, and they have 100% earned. They have. I'm just trying not to wreck the bus. They have earned every bit of what they've gotten. So I could not be more proud of my wrestlers and my coaching staff. And yeah, absolutely. So
I tell you what, listen, before Kenya jumps in and has more questions from you, there is no question whatsoever that you coached with Ben Smith for all those years. Smith. Because dude, you talk about a passionate dude, and I tell you, I love Ben Smith. I do. Me and him have been really good buddies for a while. Yeah. And I love that dude, but I tell you what, he has rubbed off on you like no other, because I've been having a conversation with Ben, which I'm really cool with that, because I haven't talked to that dude since last year. I talked to him up here in Brentwood. So
yeah, no, and that's a huge compliment to me, because he's one of my role models. To this day, he's one of my role models. So that's a huge compliment. I appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I thought I'd jump in and say that, Kenya.
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, now that you've made that connection, I mean, you Hatch might be able to tell, or you, Austin, might be able to tell me if like this connection is also due to that relationship. But just listening to the way you speak about your team, listening to the effort that you put into making sure everything lines up the way it does, and just the thought and the way you encourage your team, you're a coach that I think any team would love to have as a part of their program. I mean, it speaks measures the way you did your research, the way if you would have just sent your team out to the Wolves without putting thought to it, you guys wouldn't be going to the state tournament. So, I mean,
no, we'd have got beat 50, we'd have got beat 50 something to 10. So,
yeah, which is not far from some of the results of some of these other matches. And so, I mean, of course, you're giving all the credit to them, but I'm sure I know for a fact they've got to be so grateful to have just a leader that they can trust. It means a lot as an athlete. You probably know this too, to be able to just be told what your job is and be able to just do that job and trust that it all works out. And it's awesome that you've been able to put in enough work to make it that simple for your athletes. Like, hey, worry for the 6 minutes that you're on the mat and I got everything else is going to work out. Like that says so much, like from an athlete perspective, to be able to have that person in your corner and leading you. So, I mean, hats off to you as a coach. I know you're new-ish at this. You've been in it and at it for a little bit, but I'm so happy we're getting to have you on here and like hear your brain. And I think coaches around the state, I mean, especially for girls programs who find themselves in these super unique positions, would, I mean, just be behooved to be able to listen and learn from you. So I'm so glad that
you know what? And I do this every podcast. I think we might have another girls coach on our national teams.
I think we've got another girls coach on our national team.
Wait a second now. I'll have to run that one by my wife.
Yeah, she's just jumped on this whole recruiting train that I got going on here. I think we found another coach. There we go.
I think we found another coach. Hey, I got your number. We'll talk after.
There we go.
We'll talk.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'm grateful to even be able to have you on here. And you're such a storyteller. You're a perfect podcast guest. You want to
he's good at it.
I'm just happy to be here, guys. I'm just happy to be here.
Awesome, man.
Thanks for joining. Well, tell us a little bit about what you've got. Obviously, as a team, we know what's coming up next. How are you kind of preparing yourself and preparing your girls to compete in this state dual tournament?
Yeah. So like I said earlier, I have a fantastic coaching staff, and namely Craig Bennett, Hannah Moore. Those two are absolutely crucial to the entire process. Craig Bennett he's got a mind for wrestling that is very rare. He knows the ins and outs and the girls and the way that they wrestle and the teams and the breakdowns and all that stuff. And when all three of us get together, we just make it happen. Like we put the girls in the best possible position, and so that, like you said, we make it easy for our girls to just worry about their 6 minutes. But we do have Clarksville; they can fill the full lineup, so we know we're at least going to be giving up 3 forfeits. And so we've got some, and not to give away too much insider information, and it's not that deep anyways, but we're going to try to put our girls in the best possible position to make it happen. The only thing that I keep telling my girls is we got to take it one match at a time. If you worry about your match, you let us worry about the rest of the tournament, rest of the day, rest of everything. You worry about your one match, then we're going to get a crack at most likely Cleveland. And then, we dueled them earlier in the season, and the score was what it was. It was a lot to a little at that point, but I didn't have all my girls in place at that time. We weren't digging deep. We weren't showing them our best lineup. So once we do what we can and handle our business against Clarksville, we're looking at taking a crack at the return. Like you said, Mike, Coach Hatcher, taking a crack at the top. So we're excited. We really are. So
again.
Yeah, we're excited.
Smith right there, boy. That's Smith right there. Man, he put that fight in you. That's awesome. I love it.
No, I like that. Not to get off topic or anything like that, but he was my coach all through high school. I looked up to him all through middle school, all through high school. I went to college and wrestled or at University of Cumberland under Chris Flieger, who, when I went on my recruiting visit up there, people, I don't share this story often, but when I went up there, I went, gosh, Chris Flieger is Coach Smith made over, man. He's just the next level. And like both of these guys are who I want to be. And so that's the next level that I took. And I try every day to walk in their footsteps and be the best coach that I can be.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, we're so grateful to have you. Thanks for keeping and bringing your talent back to the state, and specifically for pouring it into, the girls program at your high school. It feels so good to have good coaches like you to be mentors and coaches for girls in our state. So we're happy to have you. We'll see and hear from you a lot more soon.
Absolutely. Let's do it again.
Awesome.
Okay, good.
Great seeing you, buddy.
All right. Bye.
Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you very much.
All right, bud. Bye. Yeah, it's great, man. Like I said, he was. I've been coaching the state for a while, so he's been around for a while, man. It's awesome having him back and helping Bradley out. And that's one of the things that Bradley does. They do a really good job of their kids go off, they go out and wrestle, and then they come back and they get back that program. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I stole one of them from him though. Yeah, Turbio Navarro.
Okay.
My boy Tito.
Yeah.
we got him locked in here at in Middle Tennessee, coaching for Young Guns. And also Brentwood Academy. Then he went back to Bradley just for a little bit. I lured him back. No, I love the Bradley kids, though. I tell you what, Ben did a great job with them. He really did. So yeah, good stuff. Well, good. That's awesome, man. What a wild duel on the girls' side. So it'd be exciting with what's going on there at state tournament this weekend for sure. So yeah, well, good. Well, I'm going to recap real quick. I'm not really going to recap. There would have been a lot of recapping, and I like to get the guests on. So. We had four different divisions, and on the boys' side, so it's really difficult to go and find all that information, and plus it'd take me a long time to recite it all. So I'll let other podcasts do that. I'm gonna go ahead and preview the brackets.
All the other Tennessee wrestling podcasts out there, they can do.
Actually, we have one. I'm looking to part with him too. My boy Brad Bissell, him and his buddy, they actually do like a similar one. They do all results, just all results based. They don't do interviews. And I was like, shoot, that's the part me and Kenny don't like to do anyway.
Yeah, exactly. We've got a good team.
Once you guys do that, we'll just do the interviews. So never know, might be a partnership worked out. But yeah, Division I, Class A, that'd be the small public schools. Match 1 on Saturday. Everything's going down on Saturday, boys and girls. So match 1 on Saturday in the morning. Side of Daisy's got Mumford. Side of Daisy was the top seed from last year. Station Camp is going up against Anderson County. Millington's got Pigeon Forge, match 3. These are all going down at 9:00 a.m. And Signal Mountain's got Tullahoma. And that actually is probably the match right there. That's probably going to be the most interesting first round I'm looking at. So that's going to be one definitely to keep your eye on there at that 9:00 session. The next division here, Class AA, obviously the Publix. Cleveland got the top seed in the tournament. They are wrestling, which if you take a look at the Coach T boards, which I don't take a look at, I was actually just going to run across Facebook posts. I do not get on Coach T. You will not see me on Coach T. You will not see a handle of Coach Hatcher on Coach T. So don't even, unless somebody starts like saying something. The only time I get and address things on Coach T is when people start talking negatively about my board members and the organizations. That's the only time I stand up for them. But other than that, I don't get in that gossip. But a lot of people have been gossiping about this first round match. Top seeded Cleveland, they have Summit first round. And both sectional champs, Summit, I mean, that's going to be a great match. Let's just put it that way. Cleveland obviously is loaded. And a lot of people think that the only team that can knock them off is Summit, and they are literally matching up first rounds because of the way the seeds come out. So very interesting first round match there at 9:00. Arlington and Brentwood in match number 2. That's going to be a pretty good one as well. Brentwood's wrestling really, really well right now. Coach Damon Smith's got those guys rocking. Dobbins Bennett's got Bradley Central in match 3. And Bartlett has got Knox Halls match 4. So, looking at some good matches coming out of there. Knox Hall's obviously last year's defending state champ. Bartlett, which we got a guy that's going to come in here pretty soon and talk about his team. Coach Cam, he's going to be on here real quick. But talking about that Bartlett school. Next division, getting into the private schools right now, the small division, the private schools. Brentwood Academy. Coach Daryl Travis, man, first-year coach there as well. Doing his thing there, but they got Lakeway Christian. Brentwood Academy won their section last weekend. They got Lakeway Christian. My boy Tony D'Angelo, Zeke Moisey do a great job out there. Lakeway Christian, man, it's going to be a really good first round match there. Lakeway Christian is definitely no joke, man. They got a great team there. And my boy Trevor at BGA, he's got himself a state bid for BGA, Battleground Academy here in Middle Tennessee. And they take on my other boy, Mike Sutherland, and his boy Blake Sutherland, Boyd Buchanan, defending state champs in the other match in the first round right there that starts at 3:00. So look for some fireworks there with those smaller private schools. And then in the bigger private school division, Father Ryan and Baylor. Basically what we got here is we got 4 of the perennial powerhouses in the private schools. I mean, Father Ryan and Baylor, first round, going to be some really good matches in that. I mean, it's just, there's going to be some great matches in it. And that's all you can say, really. So can't wait to see, who comes out of that one. And then on the other side, another great matchup with Christian Brothers, my boy Derek Harrison, always done a great job out west. And then Jake Yost, we had the podcast the other day. Christian Brothers McCauley, and this is kind of old hat. These private schools, they all beat each other up every single year.
Yeah.
It's the same teams, and there's definitely going to be some fireworks happening there at 3:00. So looking forward to seeing that. So that's what we got coming down right now, coming on Saturday, and really looking forward to some great wrestling on Saturday at the Ag Center. So it's going to be good. But our next guest on here, and I'm going to bring him on right now, Coach Cameron Oliver. How we doing there, Bartlett head coach?
Hi, how we doing? Can you guys hear me?
Good. Yeah, very good. This is Coach. This is my co-host, Kenny Sloan.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Oliver right here, head coach at Bartlett, and a first-year coach.
Yeah.
Kenya, first-year coach at Bartlett, and leading his team to that state duels. How'd that feel? Yeah.
And it was I expressed to most of our guys, it was like a movie. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was I will tell you about it. Bartlett has never been region champs at all. Like we never touched region championships out of the 25 plus years we've been in the program.
Really?
We never touched the region title. So it was coming in, we wrestled against Collierville. We beat them earlier at the beginning of the year. I scheduled Collierville at our first duel. We beat Collierville first duel, but they didn't have some of their studs. So a lot of people were speculating, like, well, can they beat them with all these studs? So we wrestled them first round in the duels in the quad. We came on. It started off like this, man. Like they started with the lightweights. The lightweights are on fire. So we I just believe in my guys. Don't give up bonus. Just don't go to your back. Just don't give up bonus. We just keep on. Like I tell those guys, you just wrestle, fight. You just fight off, man. So the match that really got us rolling in that duel was pulling number 2 guy in the state, wrestle against my boy who never even touched the state tournament, pulling on him, beat him by 2 points. But like, you know, it's just like you look at that and you be like, that's a win because their coach was expecting 6. And you know what I mean? So every point counted, and we started rolling. Our heavyweights are the best. Our lineup starts really rolling from 144 down, and that's when we start rolling. We get pins and bonus. So that first round match was a wake-up call. And I was like, okay, look, now we got the team that always put Bartlett in second place. We had Arlington.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit of information about me. I am from Bartlett. I wrestled at Bartlett for high school as a state medalist for them, as well as a heavyweight for them. But while I was in high school, we always lost to Arlington. It was always.
This was personal.
Yeah, so I'm be honest, man. I like Coach Sauceman and Coach Simpson over there, but man, it was always that one. There was always that we was good, but it was always that one team that we could not beat. So when I got the job, man, I was like, oh, man, it was a dream because I was like, this is going down perfect because now we have to wrestle this team that always put us down the second. And our guys, man, you can definitely tell that they felt something different about about the status of what's happening. Of course, their studs wrestle. You know, they got Heflin and all those guys who those studs. But like our guys who don't have a name, they start showing out. Like it was my 132, my 126 that I got as a 132. Man, he wrestled against one of their guys and he had a duck. He had a duck on him. Had kept it for the butcher. Got the fall and then that's when I knew I was like, man, we just got to keep this rolling. It was just energy. I wish I could show you pictures, but I just tell all my guys, man, it's just energy. You just have to keep the energy up because like I wrestled in college myself. I wrestled on a high level, and one thing that was really different about
University of Ozarks, correct?
University of the Ozarks, yes, indeed. Yep. We wrestled on Leroy Gardner, and who's at Purdue now, at Purdue University. But those duels that we had, you know, it was energy. You know what I mean? Everybody just had. It's like you wrestle for you. And the team will be behind you. Just wrestle for you, and then the team will be behind you. And we felt that in the Arlington-Collierville duel, so we went at it, man. And I was so happy. Our heavyweight had to get 8 points, so he had to major the kid. We was like, hey, you got to get bonus. You get the bonus, we seal up the deal. Seal the deal, we get the region title. And our heavyweight went out there. He was wrestling like he was 140 out of nowhere. You know what I mean? So he's over here doing snap downs, go behinds. I was like, okay, now this is good. And he held the kid down. He ended up majoring him. Then, of course, you know, you can do the old school, okay, we up by points, you can forfeit. But I didn't want to do that till our 106. So our 106 goal out there, and it was just added plus. Our 106 got seating criteria. So it's got a seating criteria. Sorry, we had youth practice. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
So we had he won the 106 match, so he gets some seating criteria, man. And after that duel, I was like, man, I wouldn't have it any other way, but we still got more work to do. You know what I mean? And it was something about our team. We knew it was like something. I was talking to one of my assistants who is my college teammate. He said something different about today where the guys walked in there. And I felt like we had this thing called the same old Bartlett. Like people expect us to be on fire at the beginning, but we always crash towards the end. Yeah, that was like a tale of Bartlett high school wrestling that most teams in the city will say. But then I was like, man, we just gotta own that. I guess we can say same old Bartlett now. We won. We did what we did. You know. Yep. So it was really, I'm be honest. First year as a head coach, I felt we could do something big, make history, and we did. And I tell my guys like every day of practice, it wasn't for me. My time was up. My time to win a region title as a team is up. As a competitor is up. I was like, you gotta do this for you guys. Like I'm not. Nothing I do in the coaching aspect is for me. It's for you guys. And those guys, they honed on to that. You can tell, like, they felt that. They was like, man, I got to do this for me because I feel it. Like, my 150 gets the pin, and he's like, hey, it's up here. Like, it's us. He yells that to the bench, and my 150 pounder is a quiet guy. Like, he doesn't say much. You know what I mean? And he's just like, soon as he said it, he was like, the team was like, "Oh, okay, we got it." It was
that's right there. Getting those quiet guys to show some emotion.
Right,
you know something's good doing then.
Yeah, man. So we wrestled them, and I remember because I would be looking at those Pin 10 rankings, you know what I mean? I'd be looking at them, and I was like, man, they got Arlington as the 18, man, the number to 18, man. I know my team is just as good. And, you know, and I believed in that all the way through. I told my guys, the one thing I always tell them, I was like, I don't care about, I'm like, I got a college mindset. You win your spot, you win your spot. You know what I mean? I don't care what they have personally. I know what I got. And like, I no offense to nobody else's wrestlers, but my guys, I just believe in them a lot. You know what I mean? Like, for example, anything can happen. You know, that pulling match was a prime example. You know, that kid was expecting 6 points, you know, but you can win those matches. My God, my 144 was trying to find ways to score, you know what I mean? And I was just telling them, like, man, you had belief in that match. Now we just got to keep on working because you know what your talent is at. Like, you know what you have in your mindset. Now you just keep on working. And so it's always like there's more to work on. So, yeah. So that the whole region title thing, we never won one at all out of 25 plus years. And it felt good to do it for my high school. And it felt really good. So
that's awesome. You being a Bartlett grad, you know, you coming back and taking over that program, man, that's got to be even more satisfaction, man. That's got to be great. Just come back to your alma mater and wow, that's awesome. That is awesome. I tell you what, because the Memphis area is getting a lot more competitive. It's awesome, like that you had to stop and say, "Oh, sorry, I had kids club practice going on." Because that means that you're doing a lot of the development at the grassroots level as well to develop that program.
Yeah, man.
That's where it all starts.
Yeah, it's one thing about it.
It's a lot of work, isn't it?
Oh man, who you telling? It's
a lot of work. I've been at 30 years plus. I know a lot of work.
It's like sometimes you just gotta go home and sit down and be like, God, like,
yeah.
And you know, but it's worth it though.
Mm-hmm.
I say it's worth it. So it's one thing about it is it's always been worth it to develop all those guys, honestly, because like our school is known for developmental. Majority of these kids that we get don't wrestle middle school. So like that's one of the things that I was a wrestler like that. You know what I mean? Like you can be good over time. Like my 113 pounder only been wrestling for 2 years.
Yeah.
And you know, he's qualified for state last year. You know what I mean? So it's something about, I think the most important thing that I had to bring when I became a coach was the mental aspect. Yeah. College wrestling, in my opinion, was the toughest thing I've ever done in my lifetime. You know, it was like, you know, Coach Leroy being from Wartburg, which is like a fantastic D3 program. He's a national champion, all that stuff. One thing he expressed to me was, you don't smile at easy. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, like, I was like, why not? You know, I'm 18 years old, not even thinking about it. Like, why not? Like, why not? Like, I was like, man, like, honestly, like, I didn't say my bracket, my regionals and stuff in high school was easy, but I was like, but like, would you not want to be like, you know, in my mindset, I was like, you would not want that easy path. He's like, no. It's like, easy gives you temporary. And I was like, whoa, like, you know what I mean? Like, and he's like, the toughest route is the best one because you get the gratification, like the success lasts forever. Mm-hmm. And I use our region championship as that way. Cause like it was, you have to wrestle against Carterville. Mm-hmm. Then you have to wrestle. Our region in general, we was all neck and neck. Houston, us, Arlington, Carterville, we didn't know how the duels were going to go. We didn't. Yeah. None of us knew how it was going to go. But it's like, man, like you have to accept it. I told my guys, look, y'all, you're going to have tough matches. I can't sit here and lie as a coach and say you're not going to have a tough match. You're going to have tough matches to get what you want. Every state championship final match is probably going to go to 6 minutes. Yep. Yeah. There's a rare, you know what I mean? Like it's a rarity. So I tell my guys, prepare for 6 minutes. Don't prepare for 30 seconds. Don't be satisfied with 30 seconds. Like, you know, like those tough matches, you know, if you catch a guy, you catch a guy. You do a big upset, you do this and that. But the real beauty of wrestling that is tough. And then when you get those tough matches and you wrestle 6 minutes and you get your takedown that you need to get it, and you find out you get the win for your team, those are the most satisfying because you boosted it. I told my 144, I said, you the one that really got us that duel because you didn't give up bonus to a guy who was in the state finals. Like you did the tough thing to do. You accepted that. You was like, okay, I know who I gotta wrestle. I'm gonna accept that. And show no fear in his eyes at all. Yeah, you got taken down, but you just still got to keep on moving. And he showed movement working. He was about to score a few times. Like, it's just, what is the mentality? Like, the mentality for guys I had to bring when I got hired. I was like, look, the mental toughness has to get better, because most of these kids don't know what real wrestling will feel like because they just never knew it existed before they got to high school.
Yeah.
So when I
I think we lost him.
Oh, we did.
Hoping maybe he'll come back on here.
Can you guys hear me? I'm sorry, I was getting the call.
There you go.
Can you guys hear me? I was getting the call. My bad.
Gotcha. Yep. All good. Yep, we got you.
Okay. So, hold on. I was getting the call. But most guys, guys, though, hold on. I can't hear you guys.
Yep. Oh, you good?
Are you guys muted?
Yeah, no. We're on. You good? Coach? I don't know. It might be a service thing too. All right. Yeah, he's got. I mean, yeah. I tell you what, he's done a great job with that program for sure. I'm going to remove it.
Oh.
He'll get back on here. Yeah. Oh, there he goes. Okay. Here we go. There we go. Back. You hear? We said you're muted. You're muted. We can't hear you. Huh. Yeah, we can't hear you.
No, we can't hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear you. That's weird.
Is there a mute on your? That's okay.
Okay, he's gonna call back in. Yeah, I tell you what, he's got a lot of passion, and no wonder why Bartlett's kind of gotten over that finish line there. Always finishing second to Arlington, and now all of a sudden he pushed him over the top. I mean, I'm telling you, that's impressive. And like I said, it's these young coaches, him and I mean, these first year coaches, that are going out and giving back, and not only giving back, but now they're getting the itch for it. And
I think there's something to say about this, like fresh, like passion and energy into coaching. Like I feel like it's contagious in these teams. There's obviously a lot that's going into, Coach Matthews' team and Coach Oliver's team, but I mean, I have to think or assume that some of it has to do with just this freshness of energy and passion and excitement that's contagious in your athletes. And I think that like contributes so much to your success as a team, or even just as much as, just having skill. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's put him back on. Okay. Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
We're just talking about you, talking about your passion and passion for the sport and love for the sport, obviously love for your athletes. And that's kind of what's, really kind of pushing your program over the top right now. So, and that's awesome.
Because I heard you guys talk about earlier. We have Knoxville Hall's first round, and
defending state champ.
Yeah, we took the small school state champs, man, and majority, like I looked at that draw, and I was like, man, that's I think that's a good one for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're going to be a very well coached. They're going to be a very well coached team. Shannon Sain is an outstanding coach, outstanding, and they're going to be very, very well coached. They're going to scrap. They're going to wrestle hard, and but everybody knows that about them. So at the end of the day, you know what you're getting with them. You know what you're getting, and your guys go out there. You're putting that type of fight into them that you put in your weekend before, and we'll see what happens, man. I think it's going to be a great match. I really do. I think it's a great duel. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it because I know their 157 is really good, and I have a really good 157 as well. So it's just like I'm the kind of guy I want to see some good matches. That's like me. I love wrestling so much. I just like seeing good matches. Like so it's just we just keep on. We figure out through that path. I tell my guys though, like preparing for Saturday is just don't worry about the past is in the past now. Like the region championship. Yeah, we made history, but now it's always we still got more blessings to collect. I tell them that. So it's always more lessons to collect, I guess. And once I feel like most of them realize that, like, one thing that we like to do is visualize. I tell my guys, just visualize. Like, how you daydream in class?
He's like,
What do you mean?
Yeah, they like daydream, coach. I be
There you
paying
go.
attention. No, you don't.
Yeah. It has the whole time.
Yeah, man. Did you do your homework? So it's like, so I tell my guys just like visualize, man. You visualize what you have going for yourself. I tell them, like, when we do stance in motion, we always start practice off with stance in motion. You always have to just get that feel back into it, like a boxer with shadow box, just stance in motion. Just think about the singlet, or just think about what you got going on for yourself, but just be excited that it's going to be tough. Like, one of the best things I did in college was understand, like, when you visualize an NCAA finals match, you visualize it, you just got your eyes closed, you're moving back and forth, you're just like, man, rapid fire shot, down block, man. Like, I'm going against the guy I want. I want to go against these tough guys. Like, I tell my guys that all the time. Like, you want those.
Yep.
Those are things that we love. I remember one tournament we had, our 190 wrestled against Brentwood Academy's 190, who was really good, by the way. Brody, I think it was in Gulf Shores. I know the kid. I forgot the kid name. Yeah. But he's a really good kid, and my 190 is he's pretty solid too. And I remember the match was like it was 2-1. Our guy was up, and injury time comes around, and he looks at me and he just starts smiling. He's like, I love this. He's like, I like these type of matches. Like, look, that's the best mentality ever. You know what I mean? He's like, if kids understand that they got something going on for them in that sense of like tough battles, I don't think anybody can stop somebody. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that, our program is full of young and old. It's a mixture. Like, I got a lot of seniors, I got a lot of young kids. So it's just like, I got development, and I got the ones who are trying to help develop. So it's I would say my one program, my program when I got here was I was assistant last year under Daniel Longo, who was a fantastic head coach. He was my head coach in high school. So Longo, he done everything. Like, we got a wall of champions. He done half of those. So it's he has majority of the state medalists in Bartlett history. He has most of that stuff. So it's I would say his tutelage was very needed for me, because he taught me everything that I needed for this job. And he told me, he said, one thing you have to do is just make a culture out of wrestling.
That's it right there. Yeah, I tell you what, and that's interesting that he says that, because you could definitely tell, like Kenny and I were talking about while you were getting back on the program. I mean, you can definitely tell, your passion for not only the sport, but passion for your guys and passion for your team. And I'm telling you, that's what's making a difference for sure. So yeah, I can't wait to see what happens this weekend, man. I know you guys are going to definitely make the Bartlett impact there at the state duels. That's for sure. I love seeing it. It's awesome.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Kenny, you got anything else for Coach Oliver?
Yeah, man, thanks for bringing your talent back to your state. We talk about it all the time with the girls team, but I mean, you had success here, you left here, you got better, you got smarter, you got new skills, new connections, and you came back to your alma mater of all places to continue to give back and coach and make our state better. So we're grateful that you're here, Coach. Thanks for doing great.
It's awesome.
Yeah. If y'all guys are there this weekend, I will gladly say hello to you guys, but I appreciate you guys for inviting me anytime.
Absolutely. I'll be there. I think my flight lands at like 3:30, so I'm zipping right over there after I get in. So I will be there Saturday. But yeah, I'd love to connect with you on Saturday, bud.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Yes, ma'am. Y'all have a blessed one.
Coach, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Man, that dude, he's got some passion. I love it.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's fun to see.
Like you said, these new coaches, these young coaches, your youngsters better get getting into this deal.
I'm acting like I'm not also in that.
Yeah, you're acting like all mature and everything. Yeah, these young coaches that I'm like, Kenya. Your first year? It's kind of your first year, isn't it?
Yes, and it's true. Maybe that's why I was able to recognize it so easily. But I mean, I'm just coaching in rooms where there's people who've been coaching for most of their life, and then you have someone new. This is my first year. I don't even know how to teach my kids to wrestle off their back ahead of time. Right. But hey, I'm excited to be there.
I think I learned that last year. So you're 30. I think you're 31. That's about the time.
Okay, good. I'm glad I'm not behind.
All right. Well, we got one more guest on here, and I tell you what, I got a guy I see pretty consistently. Obviously, this is where I run, but I'm gonna bring him on right now. Got Coach Daryl Travis in the house right here from Brentwood Academy.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Yeah, what's going on?
Not much. Those of you that do not know, Daryl Travis, first year. We have 3 first-year coaches on here tonight, can you? 3 of them.
Four if you include me.
Oh, 4. That's right. Well, you're on here all the time. I mean, 4 we have 4 first-year coaches and 1 32-year-old coach. 30 32nd-year coach on here. So, no, this is Coach Daryl Travis, first-year coach at Brentwood Academy, and has led his team to first region title. And how long has it been? You told me today.
I don't know if it's our first region title since, but it's first appearance at the state tournament.
State tournament
since 2009 or 10.
2009, 10. Wow.
Yeah. So it's been a while.
Wow, that's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty proud of the guys though, huh?
Yeah, we're excited. I was really happy with how we went out at the end in our finals duel last week. I mean, we rolled off 5 pins in a row just to start the whole thing off. The energy was great. Guys were all locked in. And really kind of rallied around some of our younger guys that had to step into a role too. So it was fun. It was pretty electric.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I was there for the last round there, and it was. I mean, the gym was cranking and had it going in the middle school gym, and man, it was. They wrestled really well, and people were going crazy, and yeah, it's a big state tournament bid. So those of you don't know, this is where I do my young guns practices out of Brentwood Academy, Kenya, and coach is gracious enough to allow us. They're very, very humble and mediocre facility. They're at I say that very, very loosely because it's pretty impressive. I mean, if people that haven't been to Brentwood Academy, it's not. I mean, not only is it a wrestling facility, it's awesome, but just their whole campus and just the school, education, the people that they have involved in their administration and their coaching staffs and stuff like that. Just it's top of the line. So it's definitely one of the premier private schools in the not only in the state of Tennessee, but probably the southeast, if not the United States. So it's pretty impressive. But yeah, Coach Travis has been doing a fantastic job here in this first year. It was kind of weird, like last year. I mean, Coach Wells, Coach Scott Wells was the coach last year and decided to resign right at the end of the season in, I think it was January, wasn't it? And then they brought you on as the interim coach. And ended up giving him the head coach title in the fall, and has really taken that ball and started really just kind of taking it from Scott and just kind of ran with it. Scott and Bill Evans and everybody that's been around in that Brentwood Academy program has done. We had to mention Evans on this.
I know.
Had to. I'm even going to play it for him at practice. But they did just such a fantastic job, and Darrell has really, just kind of taken it and just continued to put his twist on it. He's doing a really good job this year. It's been fantastic.
That's awesome.
So, but yeah, so you mentioned already that you're super proud of your guys and they wrestled really, really well. How's the season been going up to this point? Kind of getting ready for these duels and kind of that and moving forward.
Yeah, we've kind of. I mean, it's ups and downs just like everybody else. We've had some guys that started really high. And they maybe just for whatever reason, we ran into a couple tough tournaments like everybody does as you get a little bit deeper into it and kind of get a little bit of reality check as to different positions or things you need to work on. And they're just trying to climb back to where they want to be. Some guys are younger. I mean, we've got a really young team. And so they're still continuously working every day. A lot of freshmen and sophomores that are in roles that probably other freshmen, sophomores at other schools wouldn't be in. And, they're just trying to perfect their craft. We've got a lot of guys that play multiple sports, so a little bit of another uphill battle in some cases that we're battling. But I mean, they just love it. We got a handful. We got twin brothers who go in there and scrap, and they're throwing haymakers at each other. And,
who's that? Who are they? I don't know.
Yeah, we get Parker done, man.
I tell you,
they're going after it. Sometimes you don't know if it's boxing or if it's wrestling. But
I know.
It's great to have guys like that in there because while they're practicing with each other like that, I'll split them up and partner them with someone else. So now they can bring that fire out in and another guy that maybe doesn't have it just as naturally. And they're just, like I said, young wrestlers. So they're bringing that fire. The other guys are bringing the experience, the technique, and just getting that mat time together is crucial for all of us.
Yeah.
So it's fun to watch them go to battle every day. It's fun to watch them go through some of the tough times. Not to say that it's extremely tough, but everybody has those dog days. I mean, it's wrestling. We all know it.
Yeah.
And because we have a Wednesday night duel this week, we went and lifted Monday and Tuesday mornings early before school. And today you could really see it in some of them, kind of a little sluggish, a little slow. And I'm just seeing some of these guys. I know I was listening to Coach Oliver on the last one, just talk about the imagery and the self-talk kind of stuff. I mean, I'm listening. Same one he mentioned, our 190 is self-talk, and it's like, hey, find a way, find a way. It's in the middle of warm-ups. He's just talking himself up, and that's what you got to do. I mean, middle of a third period or whatever it might be, that's what it takes. So.
Absolutely. And that's just that's the character that sports build for you. I mean, that's
Absolutely.
why kids get into wrestling. That's why they should get into wrestling. It shouldn't be just to learn how to put somebody's arm on their back and drop a kid in the head. Later on in life, they understand that, listen, man, I did like literally one of the toughest things that's really on the face of this earth for 4 years in high school. That was, it's impressive.
Yeah, I'll sell that 10 times out of 10. I mean, a lot of kids can go play all these different sports, whatever it might be, ton of time, ton of money. You don't get anything out of it like you get from wrestling. I mean, 10, 15 years down the road, or maybe it's even another sport. Like wrestling, without a doubt, made college easy for me in the sport I played. I mean, everything was a breeze. And I even had coaches come up and said, it's very obvious the guys that did that and the guys that did some other things. And I even have teammates that are old teammates in the SEALs, number one athlete in the SEALs wrestling.
Dang.
So
love it. So, so getting back to your lineup a little bit. I mean, you guys got some pretty solid kids, and some ones that are, I mean, the ones that some of the kids that I notice in your lineup, and I think not only myself noticing, but really the people like that really pay attention to wrestling statewide. They're starting to kind of, Brentwood Academy has some guys that like, wow, that kid's been wrestling in freestyle. He's been wrestling year round. He's been doing a lot of that. You've got some guys that, Coach mentioned, the 190 pounder, but you got guys in your lineup right now that people are really starting to recognize because they're putting that extra time in. Kind of take us through your lineup a little bit and just kind of what type of impact those kind of kids make on your lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start with just some of the 8th graders that came up. I kind of had an open invitation to this 15 or 16 8th graders that wrestle for our middle school program. Come spend more time with us. They get 6 weeks in the middle school season. That's not enough. So come roll with us all the way through February. And a handful of those guys caught on. They started going to Young Guns. They're starting to get involved. I mean, we had a kid that's wrestled for 3 months. Yeah. And just latched onto it. And he was our 106 this past weekend, and he fought. And we've got a bunch of another one that's battling for that spot. So just creating that competition and wanting to come to the club practices. I mean, they're just that alone speaks volumes to me for the future, at least. 113, we have Cash Waymeyer in love with the sport as much as anyone else could love the sport. And he's got a phenomenal support system at home. I mean, he's the youngest, so thankful. Like, my wife got to experience this, not me, but when all the other siblings get out of the house, now everybody's focused on you and what to do. And he's just working his tail off. Kind of pushed him a lot this year as far as just being a vocal leader. I think that's the next step for him and a couple of other kids. He puts in the work on the mat in the summer and the off season, traveling across the country. Now let's get some of these other kids in line behind him. 120, Bo Dominguez, another one coming in here, freshman, year-round wrestler. Got a dad that's really understands like the mindset of competition. So that's both good and bad, as we all know with parents. I mean, we're high school kids, everybody. 126, Jackson Wimsat Jr. fought some injuries last year, would have definitely been on the podium somewhere, I believe, at least. 132, we got one of the Dunns, Parker Dunn, and him and Jackson have been battling back and forth at 126 and 32 all year. Got Mitchell Dunn at 138. Again, just engines, just constant pace. We've got a freshman who's really got a nice feel for it on the mat. Kind of long. You can tell he's still as young as far as the way his body is, but he's going to be really exciting to watch at 44, and Evan McComas. Jabbar Holmberg and Drake Galiner at 50 and 57 can go out there and give you everything they have. Drake Galiner, every now and again, looks like he's about to rip somebody's head off. I mean, that's not the best position all the time, but he's ripping heads. Got Taylor Wimsat, who's as talented as anybody else in the state, stepping on the mat at 165. Who just, I mean, if he keeps swinging, I have no doubt in my mind he's going to come out with his hand raised. 175, we've had some kids kind of move around and bump around, but we have another 165 behind Taylor. His name is Larry Sanders, and he is physical. He's strong. He's explosive. Played running back for us this year as a freshman on the varsity football team. And his mom was not going to let him not wrestle this year.
Go, Mom.
Love it.
I mean, my mom was the whole reason I started wrestling. She told me her dad did it, so I get to do it. I don't have to do it.
Nice.
I mean, so, but his mom comes in there and pushes him into it, and he finally gets in there, and he's having a good time. Then we have Brody at 190, Brody Belleville, family of wrestlers, has a great feel on the mat, great hips. And then we have Andrew Hill and David Johnson at 215 in heavyweight. David being a senior and Andrew a sophomore. They're a little undersized, depending on which one's at heavyweight, but they're just trying to perfect that craft, be patient, strike when the opportunity presents itself. And here we go. We're off on a ride.
Absolutely. Well, you guys got pretty good job. I mean, well, you're the whole bracket, obviously, when you start getting to state duels is a challenge. But, Lakeway, obviously, the state runners up last year.
Yes.
Yep. Team, I mean, obviously, lineup full of hammers. A lot of them go to the Tennessee Wrestling Academy right there with Tony and Zeke. And, so, I mean, it's going to be a great duel. I mean, it's going to be a great duel. I think just like we were talking, about with Coach Cam there, I mean, you know what you're getting. I mean, they're wrestling Knox Halls. Knox Hall's going to be well coached. They're going to wrestle hard. You know what you're getting. Same thing when you wrestle Lakeway. You know what you're going to get. They're going to be well coached, and they're going to come wrestle.
Oh, absolutely. You can tell the attitude that their coaches exude when they're coaching and when they're getting after it and working. Those kids have the same mentality.
Absolutely.
We're just ready to just step right into the fire with them, and let's have some fun. It's going to be exciting.
Absolutely. Well, you guys got a match before then, though. You guys wrestle NBA tomorrow.
Yes, we do. We wrestle NBA tomorrow. They've got a great little environment over there.
Oh, yeah.
For anybody that's ever been in their wrestling room or just at their facilities. And I mean, NBA and BA, no matter what sport it is, it's a bloodbath. So I learned that real quick when I moved out here to Tennessee and came here for the first time. This is my third year now.
Yeah.
But yeah, found out real quick. Everybody's all nice, and NBA week comes, and it's like, all right, I hate these guys. Let's go.
There you go, Simpson. You hear it right there. Heard it on the podcast, boy. That's awesome. Well, good deal. Well, like I said, Coach, man, you're doing an awesome job there, man. Keep up all the good work. And like I said, we're you guys know I'll be there midday on Saturday. Watching the Brentwood Academy Eagles go at it in the state duels for the first time since 2009. You said, right?
9, yes, sir.
Wow. Awesome. It's awesome. Well, I'm real proud of those guys. And like I said, all the work that you and Coach Evans and the rest of the staff, Coach Tito. So Coach Tito, the one I stole from Bradley Central, Kenya.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Yep. We took him at Bradley Central alma mater. We brought him to Middle Tennessee. And
I think their coaches said that he's not welcome back anymore. But I'm not sure.
Good. We'll just keep him here. But no, he's put together a great staff. And like I said, he's doing a fantastic job. His kids are doing great. And program's in good hands. So
thank you. Appreciate it.
Three first year coaches going to state duels, and got one first year coach here that on the podcast that's doing a fantastic job on the podcast.
That's not state duels.
Coach Travis, we appreciate you, my man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
This week.
Thanks. Y'all have a good one.
You too.
Yeah, he's doing a great job there, man. He's awesome to work. Like I said, I guess there's no secret. I work pretty closely to him. He's being that I use their facility and stuff, and he's doing a great job. He really is. And the thing about the Brentwood Academy coaches is really difficult. They they're all football coaches. Like everybody there is a football coach. I mean, football's huge, and so it's really, really difficult. These guys juggle 14 different hats. At the same time, they just got a lot going on. Same thing with his predecessor, Scott Wells. Same thing. I mean, they were so busy in that football. I mean, I don't know. I would not that I know enough about football to even be the water boy, but
I'm sure you can manage that much.
But I wouldn't even want to be the water boy because they work like 7 days a week. I mean, they literally do during football season. Football coaches do. They don't get any days off. So it's crazy. So you're trying to do a preseason wrestling program, and you're there on Sunday watching film all day long. It's like, no, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. So that's that. But hey, state duels this weekend. It's gonna be exciting.
It's gonna be super exciting.
There's gonna be some good matches. So yeah, I'm gonna miss the majority. I really wanted to see that Cleveland Summit match. That was like one of the matches I really, really wanted to see. I never in a million years thought it would be first round, which is unfortunate. First round match. So, but I'm gonna miss it. I'm actually leaving tomorrow for Pennsylvania. So I'm going to going to enemy territory. I am going to watch the Penn State Ohio State match on Friday.
Okay. What color shirt are you wearing?
I'm gonna probably wear black because I'm actually. Well, I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm going to the Young Guns facility, the one in Pennsylvania, Jody Strip Matters Wrestling Bar, in which is produced. I don't know. Jody's probably lost track how many All-Americans and national champions and whatever else he's got. I mean, it's so I'm really excited. I'm going to practice tomorrow up there to the main Young Guns facility in Pennsylvania. Then I'm going to take it over to State College on Thursday. I'm going to stay with the Strip Matters tomorrow night and headed over to State College on Thursday. I've got my very, very last college athlete that I coached is in his final season this year. So Bernie Truax, shout out to my boy, 184, who now wrestles at Penn State.
Yeah.
Like Cal Poly for me way back when I was there. So it's just crazy how many years these kids get in college now. I mean, because I've been gone from Cal Poly. I mean, this might have been 4 years out.
Yeah.
He was a freshman going into a sophomore year, I think, when I left there and went to Chattanooga. So yeah, I love the kid. I told him, we had a lot of conversation when he was going through his transfer portal and NIL stuff, and I told him he goes there, then I'll go watch a match. He knows that I'm an avid Iowa Hawkeye alumni.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for me to watch Penn State just basically beat up everybody in the country right now because it's just not good. But I'm a Hawkeye.
Your word.
We're gonna make a push this at the end of the year. I know Tom and Terry Brand's gonna help make a push. Let's get it. But they're in Ohio State, and there'll be some really good matches. Yeah, really good matches. Tom Ryan will have his guys ready, of course, but he's gonna have to have them real ready because Penn State's loaded.
Mm-hmm.
So, Tom Ryan was actually my locker neighbor at Iowa for my first 2 years there. So
oh my goodness.
Yeah, so you see Tom Ryan every single day in my first 2 years of college.
Yeah, that's
so
fun.
So it's pretty cool. So yeah, it'll be good. I haven't been to a dual meet there forever since I competed. So it's gonna be a pretty good environment. It's pretty wide. It gets pretty rowdy. I think if they're probably gonna have it obviously in Rec Hall. So it's gonna be so it's gonna be exciting. So I'm excited. Yeah,
it sounds fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. So
but
then I gotta get on a plane. Hopefully we don't get any bad weather. Drop right here in at BNA on midday Saturday and zip on over to the duels.
Yeah, you have a Red Bull in hand or something? How are you gonna?
I don't do that. I can't do the Red Bull. Coffee. I'll get some coffee. Dude. I can't. Those Red Bulls are so bad for you. I can't do it.
Yeah, but that's a different podcast. We'll talk about how bad Red Bulls are.
Yes, we will. We have to have a nutrition guy. We need to start getting some informative people. My boy, I can do a shout out to my boy right here, Mark Lobleiter, Tiger Fitness. If you guys are looking for, I'm gonna tell Mark. This is what I was thinking about eating this during our podcast, but I think that'd be pretty rude. But I'm telling you right now, if you want protein bars, these are literally, and I'm not just saying this, these are literally. You know what? I'm going to put the link. Put the link to Tiger Fitness in the podcast. But these right here, these outright bars are unbelievable. They're like my new dessert. Seriously, it's like
you can't go wrong.
Oh, they're like literally, they're amazing, unbelievable. So, Mark Lobleiter, Tiger Fitness, outright bars. What else? Machine Way. All the
people are going to think we were paid to say this, but this is a true.
This is a true podcast right here.
Testimony from.
You know what? I need to start making plugs for my two businesses. Considering I am donating my time here, so we could really have like 3 advertisers now because I'm actually working for advertising. So yeah, we'll see. But anyway, I think we're just rambling now, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
Austin Matthews did say to give Tito back, but we're not giving him back.
He did.
Yeah. But thanks for joining us, everyone, tonight. Another great podcast. I mean, 3 brand new up and coming coaches. Awesome having them. And I tell you what, next week, state duels results.
Yeah, we'll have fun stuff to talk about.
We're gonna probably have some state. I would assume we're probably gonna have some state championship coaches on here.
That'd be nice if they'll give us a time of day. They're gonna be fresh off of hot success.
We'll get back to the individual state digital state tournament coming up. But I think we should do too. And so get ready for it, ladies and gentlemen. I think last weekend, they had their last AAU Tennessee Top 100 tournament over at Cleveland. was really good. They had a ton of numbers there. And then I know I saw like some of the kids that won like the OW awards. So maybe we'll pick somebody that was an OW and bring him on. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I think that'd be good. That'd be maybe a good guest. So we'll kind of look into that too, and we'll see what's going on in the youth level too. Mix a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Why not? There we go.
Any
last words, Kenya?
No, it was fun. It's super cool to see what's going on all over the place and to have such fresh new talent and have people like returning back here. That's awesome. This is the goal, I guess, of what we do, huh?
That's it right there. I know. Love it. Awesome. Well, next week, Kenya, same time, same place.
I'll be here.
Content.
I'll be, different.
All right, we'll do it. Thanks everybody for joining us. We appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
Right now.